first seam we're going to do is a double top stitch. We're going to take our 2 pieces of calico, we're going to sew a 1 centimetre seam allowance, and we're going to back tack at the beginning and we're going to back tack at the end. So just drop the presser foot. So 2 to 3 stitches, then reverse, and then 1 centimetre seam allowance all the way to the end of the fabric. So when you get near the end, you're going to do 2 to 3 stitches, reverse, and cut off your threads. The next step is taking it to the overlocker. Okay, now that we're at the overlocker, we're going to sew together our 1 centimetre seam all the way down to the end. We're going to try not to catch any of the extra fabric off there. We want a nice straight line so that we can top stitch it back at the straight sewing machine. Off we go. Just remember to leave a nice long tail of cotton there so it doesn't come unthread. And there's our overlocked seam ready to take back to the straight sewing machine. What we're going to do is press our seam to one side. So we're going to turn over our sample, take our iron and press the overlocked seam to the left. We're then going to turn our sample to the right side to give it another press just to make sure that there's no double creasing there. Great, that looks nice and smooth there. All ready to take to the sewing machine for our 2 rows of top stitching. Now that we're back at our sewing machine, we're going to line up our needle 2 millimetres from the fold line. So we're going to drop the foot. The side that we're going to be putting our top stitch on is where we've pressed our overlock. So we're going to drop our needle down, we're going to sew for 2 to 3 stitches and then we're going to do a reverse. Now we're going to sew a nice straight line all the way down, 2 mil from that fold seam line. Slowing down when we get towards the end. I'm going to back tack and cut our threads. The next row of top stitching is going to be placed parallel to the seam line again. So we're going to line up our foot with the fold line, dropping the needle down, and we're going to keep an even distance all the way down. So the trick of this one is to make sure that the foot stays on the crease line or the fold line of our fabric there and not where we've just stitched. And off we go. Back tacking at the beginning and keeping the foot on that folded seam line all the way down to the end of the sample. Back tacking 2 to 3 stitches at the end. Lifting the presser foot, cutting the threads, and that completes our top stitch sample.